Hi there and welcome to my channel. Today we are making a chicken and broccoli bake. Now I have these mushrooms that I dehydrated myself and I thought, well, this is a really good recipe to use those in. So I thought that I grabbed a pretty generous handful of these, and to rehydrate them I just put in some room temperature water and just let them sit for a couple of hours, and they rehydrated really nicely. So after they had sat for a couple of hours, I just poured the liquid off into a bowl, and that is liquid gold, you guys. You don't want to throw that out. I put about a tablespoon of bacon grease in the bottom of my pan, and I added some olive oil to it. And I'm just testing to see if the pan is hot enough to add all the chicken, because I want the heat nice and high so that I brown this chicken. You don't want to just boil it or steam it or whatever in the pan. You want it nice and brown. Once it was nice and brown, I added a small chopped up onion. And I had a prepared casserole dish that I just scooped that into with a slotted spoon because I wanted to save the oil and the bacon grease that was in the bottom of that pan to make a bit of a roux. Everything is just going in the casserole dish. This is some of my homegrown broccolini. I haven't used a lot of it yet, and thanks to my friend Lisa, I was encouraged to freeze that. So I added a little bit more olive oil to my pan, and I added some flour in there. And I'm gonna just cook that up like you should for a couple minutes before you add your liquid to it. Now, I had a bit of a problem. This is my mushroom juice. So good, you guys. I think that my pan was a little bit too big because when I poured the water in, all the little bits of browned flour kind of scooted off to the side. But it turned out okay. That is some of my dried sage, oregano, and thyme. Sorry, I had a bit of a brain fart there. I was like, what was that? So I'm just adding that to my little bit of a gravy mixture there, and I'm gonna let it sit for a little bit so that herbs rehydrate before I added it into the casserole dish. That was just wow in flavor, you guys. That's about a cup of shredded cheddar cheese that I'm mixing in there, and you do want to mix it really well. Now, I thought it'd be nice to have a little bit of a crunchy texture to this, so that's just a couple of dabs of butter and some panko. And once that was browned, I just spread it over the top of my ingredients there in the casserole dish. And I baked that in a 375 oven for 20 minutes or until bubbly, just like that. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. Bye for now.